I got the motion view is running. It's running in channel 1. Now, we'll stop it for a second. We'll talk about it. The most important thing with this is you get complained that programming the motor is the biggest problem out there for a motion view. I feel that the motion view is a lot simpler than the sound feed system to program. It's a few pushes of the button, but what we're missing is that 12 seconds window that we have from pushing that button in the back and making that switch change. So I just want to kill this for a second. I'll kill the programming of the shade for a second. So it's dead. To delete the memory of the motor, this is what we're missing out there. You push the button in the back of the remote. Once the green light starts flashing, you push the channel that the shade is running on and you push down. The shade will come down and go back up. Once that happens, you push the button back in the back and the light stops flashing. That means it erased all the memory that was sitting in the motor. Okay. All of it. Now, in any case, if you delete that somewhere around this position where the shade is, what do? Use the manual switch to bring the shade back up. Because that's where you want to start, from the top. You always want to start from the top, because if you start from midway, that's exactly where you remember the memory. As you come down and you go back up, it will stop there. So you always start from the top to be on the safe side. So we'll program it back. We'll push the button in the back. Let's say we want to push this on channel 1. Okay, we push the button in the back. Wait for the light to start flash. I put channel 1 and up. See the shade jog. Once it jog, I push the button back on the back. It stopped. The light stopped flashing. Now I push the channel that I want it to be on and down. It start coming down. You let it come all the way down. Finish that rotation. Take it back up. As it comes down and it stops, it remembers that memory. As it goes back up, it remembers where it starts from the top, and it will stop. This is how a motion view works. It comes down to the full length. One more push of the button will tilt it open. That's how it works. So there's 2 push. One will bring it down. The second option will tilt it open. To go back up, you tilt close, and the second push will take it up. So it's different from a sound feed system. It will come down and it will stop to the full length in a closed position. Another push of the button will tilt it open. To go back up, one push will tilt it closed, another push will take it up. That's how it works. It's totally different from the sound feed system. The sound feed will come all the way down and then either totally open or totally closed. That's how it works. There's no tilt option compared to a motion view motor. So is that simple to run this.
I like it.
It's a 1-2 push of the button and it's good to go. Let's look at the sound feed for a second. We'll look at the sound feed. I think I got it running on this remote already. Yeah. This is the sound feed motor. Here's the catch too is if you want to delete the memory of the motor, what you do, you got a little paper clip, stuck it into the motor, and you hold it into position. That's 1. You need 3 jogs on this motor. 2. 3. So whatever memory was in that motor is just completely gone. So to program it now, what do we do? First thing, we jog the motor by use the upper and the lower key. If I push the 2 together and hold it, it comes down and go back up. That means the motor now is reading the remote control. For some reason, let's say you push down and the shade is going up, it means that the motor is traveling the wrong direction. So change the direction of the motor, you press the My button and you hold it. You wait for it to jog. So now if I push up, the shade will come down with it, because I changed the direction of the motor. To change it back, I push the My button and hold it, wait for it to jog, and if I push up, it's going up. When the program is completely finished, that time the remote 1 push will activate the shade. For now, you have to help it with the remote. A quick way of programming it, I always set the lower limit first. That's my thinking. Some people always set the upper limit first. So what I do is, let's say I want to set the lower limit to, let's say, 24 inches. It's already in programming mode. I bring the shade up to the position you want it to be, and I hit the my and the lower key together. Once it starts rolling down, I let it go. I always tell people on the phone who is programming it, 6 inches from the bottom of the window, you use the my button to stop the shade. The reason for that is you don't want the motor to turn the opposite direction, because there will no way you will remember the memory, because it starts to spin the opposite way. So once I stop at 6 inches from the bottom, I use the lower key and I jog the motor till it reaches to the full opening of the window. If you go a little too far, you can change it by using the upper key to bring it back up. Once that is the full length of the window, you press the my and the upper key together. Once it starts rolling up, you let it go. You don't have to stop it this time, because it remembers where it starts from the top. That's why it's more important when you start from the top. That's exactly how you want it to be when the shade is fully programmed. That's the full up, that's where it started from. To confirm the memory, you press the my button and you hold it, you wait for the shade to jog. You jog. Once that happens, to seal the memory in the remote, you push the button in the back of the remote and you wait for it to jog. Now it's running. So it's a few more steps. It's a few more steps than the motion view.
But this is also roller shades. Right?
Yep. It's a few more steps for motion view. We got a lot of time shade comes in with no remote control, and we're afraid sometimes to send it back out, deleting the memory, thinking that the customer can't program it. So what do we do sometimes? We send the shade with a new remote. Once you receive it, we'll ask you to call us back and we'll transfer the memory from the motor that we send you to the remote that we send you to the remote that you have at home. This is the remote you have at home, and this is the one that going back with the shade. So if I want to change the memory from this motor, from this remote control to that remote control, it's just 2 push of a button. Now, this is the remote control that I sent it back with, and you want to put it in that one. First, you push the back of the remote and you wait for the shade to jog. Now you take the new remote that you have at home, you put it on whatever channel that you want it to be on. Let's say it's channel 1, and you push the button on the back again and you wait for the shade to jog. Now I got this remote is running it, and I got this remote is running it. Both of them is running. So then you send this one back to us. It makes life easier instead of you have to go through that whole 9 yards that I went through. But sometimes the customer get 5, 6 shades and they need to operate the rest at home, so they send us one with no remote. You know, with all fairness to the customer. So I think it's the easier way to go going forward, but it's not that difficult to program.
That's also how you get it onto the all channel as well. You do the same thing, right?
Yeah, you can transfer it from here. Let's say it's on 1 right now. Right, it's running on 1. So whatever we want to do, this is 1. It's on 1, it's running. Now we know it's running on 1, and you want to switch it, let's say, to 4. So it's on 1. What do we do again? We jog the motor by pushing the button on the back. It jogged. You switch it to the channel that you want it to be on, let's say 5, which is the master channel, and you push the button in the back. So you can change from channel to channel using the same remote. But remember, channel 1 still have the memory in it.
Okay,
You will not lose the memory of channel 1 unless you delete the memory of the motor and then restart all over again.
So it's on channel 1 and on channel 5? Right?
1 and 5.
Okay.
So if you receive 3 shades and they were programmed 1, 2, 3, and then going forward the customer want to put it on 5 as the master channel, you can do that right at the customer's house. It's not a problem.